Sheep, baby, cause this. But wait, there's more. Hang on to your seat, baby, cause this one's a screamer. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Ooh, you're mad. You're a dreamer. You dream a lot in your sleep.
No, not really. I know.
Yes, you do.
No, I
yes,
don't.
you do.
Yeah, okay, what is going on, Entertainment? So today I'm coming to y'all with another recap. We talking House of Villains. So just think of the show Big Brother with your best villains that you ever could think of. Some of them questionable as villains, but we're gonna take it anyways, okay? Two of the cast members are on Zeus. We have Mr. Bobby Lights, and also Tanisha from Bad Girls Club, who also appeared on Baddies, okay? So the first person that's in the house that we get introduced to, basically the concept of the show is they put all them in the house and they're competing for $200,000. Okay, and they vote each other off week by week by week by week. All right, so Johnny Fairplay is the first guy we're introduced to. Now, a lot of you guys probably don't even know who he is because some of y'all are so young. But this guy right here lied about his grandmother having a terminal disease so that way he can win the game Survivor. So that's where he's from. I'm a big Survivor. Was a big Survivor fanatic at one point, so I knew who he was. The producers asked him in the interview, why do you think that they put you first? He gonna talk about because he's the one, he's number one. I'm like, anybody who knows and watches reality television, the last person who usually walks into a house where there's like an ensemble cast is usually the one that's gonna be the troublemaker or is gonna be the star of the show. So the fact that you walked in first, that's not a good detail. Sorry, Mookie. Okay. Next, we have New York. So New York comes into the house. Okay, she does her line. New York is in the mother house. Okay, I just wanted her to do her her boots line. Hi, boots.
No, that we will come right
to
after
be backed into boots. Which wall? Pick a wall.
Okay, so she of course knows. She didn't know who Johnny was. See, that's what I'm telling you, Mookie. Like, they put you first for a reason because they're probably going to realize a lot of the people watching this show are going to be the younger generation. And watch this off a bootleg. Okay, the ones that know now exactly which website I'm talking about. If you guys need it, on DM a nigga, comment down below. No shit. So I don't like that because I couldn't watch it live because I had stuff to do. So like that's crazy to me. I don't like that at all. Of course, New York to me is a villain. Johnny is a villain. So those were perfect casts. Next we have Bananas. Bananas, when you gonna retire doing reality television? This nigga has been on more reality shows than one can count. He's been on every season of The Challenge. He's a Real World, whole lot of other shows in between. God damn. I know his bones must be aching because the amount of competition reality shows that he's done is like ridiculous. Like the amount of physical pain that he's made his body go through in order to acquire sums of money is ruthless. So of course they flash back to the moment where he had a partner on the challenge and they gave him basically an option. He won that season of the challenge with him and his partner. So they say, hey, you could either keep the money to yourself or you could share it to with your partner. And basically the partner that's been helping him all along all season, and he kept all the money to himself. Not gonna lie, I would do the same thing. Especially if I don't know, if my partner at the time I didn't know like that. Reality TV is cutthroat at the end of the day. So I get his reasoning into doing it, and it kind of solidified who he was as a villain. So that was a perfect cast too. Next we get is Corinne. So Corinne, I don't know. I didn't know who that was. Apparently she's done The Bachelor. Let me know down below if she was the super bitch on her season because I didn't watch her season of The Bachelor. I never really watched The Bachelor. The only season I watched was that it was a white couple and the guy was a douchebag and the girl was a bitch, and like they became viral. Like I remember they did interviews because their season was really bad. They got a divorce, like all this type stuff. That's the season I remember watching, but I never was a big Bachelor fan. She claims that she's the most popular one on The Bachelor that's appeared on The Bachelor. Okay, apparently she was the first one to kiss the Bachelor at the time, so that's why she became so infamous. Next, we get introduced to Bobby Lights. Now, Bobby, no shade, Bobby. I don't think you're a villain. I like Bobby, but I don't think he's a villain. Okay, has he? I think okay. He played a little bit of a villain on his dating show, but what they showed, I guess they don't have clearance from Zeus because all we got was just Love and Hip Hop. I said, let me pepper it in, clear those videos and footage being released. Okay, so in my opinion, he was more of a villain on Bobby I Love You Per than a villain on Love and Hip Hop, just from the seasons I've watched. Next, we get introduced from Shay. Y'all been begging me to review Love is Blind for like the up T times right now. Like, oh my God, Pierre, review Love is Blind, Love is Blind. I don't have the time, okay? But apparently Love is Blind is really good because everybody watches it. And he, of course, I guess was like a douchebag on his show. And that's why they casted him on there. From what I've seen so far in this episode, he doesn't seem not a bit of a villain in my eyes. I'll just say it. Next, we get Tanisha, okay? Tanisha, I should have swapped her off for Natalie, okay? Miss Nunn should have been there. I'm just saying. I think maybe when they filmed this, Natalie was still on tour with the baddies, okay? The Sisterhood of the Traveling Bookings. She was still on the tour. So I don't think she probably could have filmed it at the time. But season 2, Nat, okay? Season 2, me, Nat, okay? Tanisha, to me, is more of a godmother than a villain because she became a hero hosting all of the reunions by the end of her time. Nonetheless, girl, get your money, get your head, and leave, okay? Because they probably do pay them a Q coin to even do the show. I feel like a lot of people turn down the show. So that's why they ended up with some of the options that they came up with or couldn't do the show at the time that they offered it to them. Next, we get Anfisa. So she's from 90 Day Fiance. Apparently, she's a gold digger. She just likes the coin. That's why she just has like I think that's like a Hermes bag or something with the money inside of it. So she just likes coin. Apparently, on 90 Days Fiance, she was like a super bitch to the fiance she was getting married to. And last we have, oh my God, of course, Omarosa. Omarosa does reality television well. Can't nobody take that from Omarosa. Like, the girl just is like, she gets it. Like, I could watch her all day. Like, she just knows what to say. She knows what to do. Her interest was iconic. It's just like, she's just that girl. Like, you like her or not, she really is that girl. Like, you can't do it like without Omarosa. Like, this show, I feel like if they wouldn't be able to get Omarosa for this first season, they shouldn't have even did the show. So thank God they were able to get her. And I know with her business mindset, she probably, the prize money is $200K. She probably said she wants $100K to do the show. No, because the way they had Omarosa enter like she was the grand dame, baby. Okay, everybody was up the stairs looking at her. Bobby said, "Oh my God, there's Omarosa. I see her. Oh my God." Because Omarosa's coming through, she getting out. It looked like a high class ass car. She beat. Okay, of course everybody bows down to the queen. Some people knew everybody knew who she was except for one person, y'all. Okay, so Omarosa's, finagling with the cast, and she sits down, and at one point she was talking to Shake. Okay, she was talking to Shake, and we have Miss Corinne, Miss Bachelorette, walks up to Omarosa and says, "Hello, what's your name? Who are you?" Girl, the nerve. I low-key feel how Omarosa felt because it's like, how dare you not know who I am? If you do if you've been in reality television, I feel like you should know who this lady is. Like, that's like the super bitch. Like, everybody knows who she is. Like, let's say you don't watch reality television. She worked with Trump, for God's sakes. You don't even watch the news and keep up with politics at least. Because besides that, she at least was in mainstream news. She worked for Trump. But Omarosa was a bitch, though, I ain't gonna lie. She was. She goes, "Oh, Google, honey. Google." Corinne's like, "What? Huh? Wait. Ma'am, excuse me?" So the whole time, Omarosa is trying to initiate more conversation with Shake and not paying Corinne any mind. Okay? So Corinne's like, excuse me? And then she's like, honey, we're having a conversation here, referring to Shake. Also, I forgot to mention one person that was introduced was Jax. Jax to me is the ultimate douchebag. I low-key feel like he's a little gay on the low, but hey, we don't talk about that. But you know, that was a perfect cast too. He is a villain. He is a dickhead. Okay, like literally moved with his dick. So yeah, he is a villain. Okay, so Corinne's like, huh? She was just pissed. The girl was livid. Okay. So she ends up running off, and she runs off. She's like, well, that just shows that you're just an irrelevant, mean bitch. Or she says something to that sort. And then Omarosa's just looking at her like, and she goes and cries. How are you a villain and you crying? I'm confused. She goes and tells her, crying. So of course, Omarosa, being the queen villain she is, she not even cared about her crying. She's thinking, who can I make deals with? So she starts to make deals with Shake. So she offers Shake an alliance with Johnny. The biggest mistake the cast already made, because I love competition reality shows. Like, y'all know I like, that's my dream to be on Big Brother. So it's like, this is my stilo, okay? The plotting on niggas, right? So she was trying to offer Shake a deal. The biggest mistake this cast made is because they didn't think that the older cast members kind of all fooled around and knew each other. Like Omarosa is cool with New York because these are old school reality veterans. You know, Omarosa is also very tight with Johnny, who's an old school veteran. So it's like, why didn't y'all think that like they would all kind of have each other's back or kind of fool with each other like that? I didn't know why they didn't kind of peep that, but they didn't. So Omarosa tries to bring Shake on an alliance with her and Johnny, and he is like contemplating not taking it. Big mistake. Let me tell y'all, any reality show that y'all go on that's competition, when somebody offers you an alliance, say yes. Say because you know why? If something happens down the line and you might need them, you might not even like them, right? You might not even think it's the best thing, but guess what? Something happens and they're in charge or like at top and they can nominate people. Guess what? You can say, hey, I'm in your alliance. Remember, alliance. Meanwhile, you don't really like them like that. Dummy. So that was the biggest mistake Shake made, is contemplating and kind of saying no. Okay. So they kind of break off into groups, and you kind of see that Corinne, New York, and Bobby Lights are kind of forming an alliance. So they're kind of getting a little bit tight, which I'm kind of surprised because I thought Miss New York would stick with her old school people like the Omarosas of the sort. Okay. But she kind of didn't. Okay. Then Omarosa also brings the Bananas taking the money home. So she kind of knows Bananas and, you know, the stuff that he's been up to and stuff. Right. So New York lets Omarosa know that Corinne was crying because that's like her homegirl now or whatever, right? So she goes up to Omarosa. New York is just like, Omarosa, Corinne's crying. She feels away. Omarosa's just like, oh, she is. That's your homegirl now? Huh? Really? Y'all know Omarosa, she's low-key a Republican condescending bitch, low-key. So she's just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, she really didn't care that Corinne was crying and her feelings was hurt. It is House of Villains. Like, tighten up. Okay? I do think, though, that New York sided with the wrong people. You ride for the wrong team. Because just off of the previews of the season, I could tell Omarosa's going to be taking a W multiple times. She's going to be taking that win, baby. I'm telling y'all, I can see it. Because how the show format is, I could tell Omarosa's going to be on the winning side. And she's going to get very far. Okay? So we get introduced to the host. And before this, Omarosa says Corinne got to go because she uses her tears to get sympathy. That is a dangerous tactic that people need to know. Somebody who cries a lot and plays victim a lot, they're one of the most dangerous people ever. AKA Jackie Christie. I know from Basketball Wives, she used to do that crying thing back in the day. She used to, Malaysia. Those are people you got to stay away from because they will try to play victim in a sympathy role in order to gain allegiances and alliances. Okay, so I'm more so smart for thinking that. All right, So we get introduced to the host, and it's Joe McHale from The Soup. All right, I ain't got no picture of him, but y'all know, if y'all know, y'all know. Bobby go say, "Oh my God, it's Carson Kressley." When I tell y'all I gag, Carson Kressley, y'all, is the gay guy that is the judge on RuPaul's Drag Race. So Joe is straight. And he don't dress flamboyant like Carson do. Carson wear nothing but flamboyant. So that was funny that he didn't know who he was, because Joe was like, "Oh my God, this is worse. This is getting bad already." So he tries to do and tell them the rules. But by the time he could do that, they had to shut down everything because it was getting interrupted left and right. We kept getting damn blimps flying by, planes flying by. The cast kind of messing with each other, pinching each other. So they had to refilm it at nighttime. I like the fact that they showed that because it kind of made the show seem a lot more real. And they end up doing it at night, and they do one final take. So basically, how it works is we're gonna have basically one villain win each week, and every time a villain wins, they're going to nominate 3 people that's on their radar, and from those 3 people, 3 of them are going to compete to save themselves. And out of the 2 people left that are still up on the block on the radar, the whole house votes to eliminate those 2 people. Okay, so that's how it's gonna work. Their first competition is like a ball competition, basically where, like, you know, those big blank plastic balls, but instead they're going to be outside the balls. They have to push each other out of these little corridors. They have to push each other out of these little, like, maze. Whoever's ball gets pushed out that maze. So you have to kind of guard your ball, right? So it's a physical competition. Y'all would think Johnny Bananas would be the one to win. Nah, nigga. Jax was going ham. I don't know what he thought this was. This was the actual challenge. This nigga was pushing niggas left and right. So the person who is up winning is Omarosa. Okay, Omarosa is up winning. Also, they get a prize. So the prize person gets to pick someone to go, gets to pick 2 people to go on sort of like a retreat. This show I like. You know why? It reminds me of I Love Money. I just wish they had a bigger cast, but it reminds me so much of I Love Money. It's not even funny. Like, so when Omarosa won, she's talking to Johnny Fairplay, basically like, these dumbass niggas didn't think us old people are basically in an alliance. They so dumb, they don't even know what's coming to them because they're going to have each other back. Okay? That's how Omarosa was thinking. So we see them kind of talking amongst each other. Jax lets Tiffany know that his biggest mistake was cheating on his girlfriend. Now, your biggest mistake, Jax, I'm going to expose Jax real quick. I ain't like what y'all Vanderpump Rules members did to that black girl that was on that cast. Y'all did that whole police thing. If you know, you know. That should have been your biggest mistake, because that's what got y'all kicked off the show. So it's the next day. I heard he's back this season, though. It's the next day. Omarosa is pondering on who to pick. Okay? And they're surprised Jax went so hard on the game. Tanisha says Jax almost knocked her out like he owed her money. Tanisha is the comedic factor of the season. Her and Bobby. Okay? So because Omarosa won, she gets to pick 2 people to go pampering with her. She picks Bobby and she picks Tanisha. Okay, so they go like to this spa. They have them rub their feet, and the person that Omarosa wants to nominate is Johnny, because she's sort of, you know, thinking that's a big threat that may have to go. Mind you, they made a deal. Her and Johnny made a deal that he would not be on a chopping block if Omarosa would have win, because he let her get that win. Johnny did. Okay. So they're kind of, you know, going back and forth if, you know, they would vote him out if he were on the block. And the reason why Omarosa picks Bobby and Tanisha is because she says that they talk the most in the house to everybody. This is what I'm telling you. Omarosa knows how to do reality television. Somebody who's an amateur, they wouldn't know to think like that. They would just pick their best friends and meanwhile, they leave everybody else at home and having them plot on them. So she was smart on to doing that and getting Bobby and Tanisha to go with her on that little retreat thing. So Omarosa also opens up in the episode and she talks about her background and like her family. Her dad, I believe she said, was murdered at like 7. So she's been through like a whole lot, and that's the reason why she's so rough and tough. Okay, she says that's why she has the edge to her. Okay, we get to elimination. Omarosa nominates Corinne for not knowing who she was. Shake, probably because he's a dummy and kind of denied that deal. And one last person, y'all. Child, the way Omarosa did it, because you have to give your like speech before you put the people up. Omarosa was like, I'm going to nominate somebody who's done a lot of challenges, who's won multiple challenges, who's done a lot of physical competing shows. So y'all think it is bananas. Nah. She said, but I'm going to nominate somebody who's just as strong as him, Jax. Bananas almost fucking pissed his pants. Bananas was like, because he thought he was going to go up, but it ended up being Jax. So I guess she did it to kind of scare him, which was funny, okay? But the episode is up there. We don't find out who gets eliminated until probably like the next episode, okay? Let me know if y'all watch the episode, who y'all favorite villain so far, and also who y'all think they should put on this cast. Like, who would y'all switch out for who, okay? Leave your comments down below, and we out, babies.
No personal thing.